Hello YouTube. I just got a Kodak ZI-8 camera for Christmas and wanted to try it out and make a quick video. I'm going to try and make this how-to, or whatever you want to call it. So what I've been doing is converting my dad's old digital 8 tracks, the reel-to-reel kind, onto my computer. And what I have is, what you see is his old 8-track recorder, and that is plugged in using these 8 patch cables into my mixer, which has a stereo output that is going to this USB audio interface. It's a digital interface that can record at 96 kilohertz. It's much better quality than just using the line in on your sound card, because you're going to get a lot of electronic noise from your computer. So from there I just go directly into the USB interface on my tower, and it works pretty well. This machine is pretty old. I think it's probably from the early to mid 80s. It's a Fostex, what is it, A16 or something like that. Anyway, these tapes have not been played in at least 20 or 25 years, and what I've had to do is I had to take this cover off and get down in there. I don't know how well you could see that, but the tape's in there. I just tried listening to it and it's really muddy sounding. So what I'm going to do is, if I could get this tape out of the way, right up there's the tape head, and I'm going to get in there with some alcohol and clean it up with some Q-tips. That cleans it up pretty well. So I'm going to try that and then I'll come back. You want to be gentle with it. So I have the alcohol here. Just dip the little Q-tip in there. And I know this probably isn't the preferred way to do it, but you just want to get in there. Where is it? Still getting used to this camera. Here it is. And you just sort of rub it across the head there, and then on this one too, and that usually cleans it up pretty well. Get a fair amount of gunk on there. Sorry if that was a little shaky. So anyway, from there what I do is put tension back on the tape itself so that it'll play, and I gotta rewind it to the beginning of the tape. But this is just a band that my dad used to play in some bars in, and probably hasn't seen the light of day since the mid 80s, so it'd be cool to try and preserve it. All I have to do is, on my desktop I have Audacity running, and I hit record, and then I hit play on the tape player, and you can sort of see it, the waves showing up now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the output from the mixer so you can hear what it sounds like, because this player plays it at twice the speed that it was recorded at. But all I have to do is, I could slow it down in using the software, but this is what it sounds like right now. Sure if you can hear me while that's plugged in, but so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do this short clip to show you what it does. So hit stop on the recorder, and don't mind my cat, by the way, she likes to get in the way with her tail. So I take the sample and play back on my computer. And obviously that's not how we want it to play. So what I'll do is highlight the whole thing, go into Effect, change speed, and then you want to decrease it by 50%. You just have to play around with it. It's usually you're going to go in increments of 50 or 25% depending on what speed it was originally recorded at. So if I do that, it will slow it down by half and it'll hopefully sound somewhat normal. There's a lot of things you could do with this program, Audacity. A lot of plugins. You could actually, let's see if this sounds right. That sounds about right. So, what I want to do now is get my cat out of the way, actually, but I won't do that. You highlight what you know is going to be, what you want to be silent. You go into Effect, you go into Noise Removal to get rid of the static that's there. For this few seconds you want to use that as telling the computer that it's silent. Then you double click, highlight the entire sample. I'll zoom out so you can see the whole thing. And then you go back to Effect, you go to Noise Removal again, and this time, using the sound profile that you gave it, it will subtract that from the waveform so that you get more of the music and less of the hiss and interference. So, I don't know if that's noticeably better, only listened to it once, but now it's gonna sound a little bit old because it's an old recording. You can also amplify it. You can do the normalize, which will even it out a little bit. I'm going to start by amplifying a little bit, just so you can hear it better. It still sounds kind of muddy, so I might go back and clean this up some more on the tape head. But I can also try to normalize it, see what that does. And it lowered the volumes a little bit. But you could do a lot with it. I've done some, gotten pretty good results. Sometimes I have to clean it if the tapes haven't been played in a while. They'll leave a film on the tape head and it'll muddy it up pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and open one up that I've already done and just show you what I can do with a decent tape. Let me find a good one. Well, I think this is a decent one. He used to just doodle on his own time. Sure, the sound isn't perfect just coming through the microphone, but it sounds pretty good. Probably as good as it would sound if I was just going to play it on the tape itself. Anyway, so that's one that I've already done, and I have a lot of these more to do. That's one stack. There's several in there, and I probably shouldn't show you this. My closet full of junk, but I have this tub full of them. There's probably 40 or maybe 50 in there. There's more down here in the bottom, and if I don't do something, eventually they'll deteriorate. So you can do that with records too if you have a record player, old cassette tapes. But yeah, this little box, it's about $100, but it'll definitely improve the sound for your digital input versus just a, you know, like a headphone type line in. So hopefully that helps. Okay, bye.